Today I'm reviewing one of the most requested pieces of equipment that you've asked me to review as of recent. This is the Bolt Fitness Outlaw. That is a combination hack squat and leg press and calf raise all in one. Honestly, in some ways, I think this is the gold standard for value combo leg press hack squats, but not without some caveats and not without some ways that maybe you could get it cheaper. Let me go through the full review. Let's. Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage and Reviews, and today I'm reviewing the This is one that you guys have asked for often. In fact, I first heard about this through the Facebook group, so if you'd like to check out the Facebook group, put a link below the like button. But in there are a lot of people that have this machine and a lot of people that love the machine. So I combined a lot of my use with this as well as taking opinions and reviews from others to give you what I think of it. And there are a lot of good things about this. That doesn't mean there aren't caveats and some things that I would change. Honestly, I'd actually say of all the Bolt fitness equipment I've used and reviewed, this is maybe my favorite. Okay, so first off, this is combining a hack squat and a leg press. They also threw in a plate that fits in through a square tube on the hack squat plate so you can do calf raise. I'm gonna go through all of what I think of each movement and what I think of the machine. But I will say just the footprint, the size, the form for a combination machine, I really like combination machines. They make the most sense in a home gym. Without a doubt, a standalone hack squat and a standalone leg press is going to be superior to a combo machine. And that's for a number of reasons. But I will say the footprint that you're able to save by having a combo machine, especially one that works like this, because they are similar planes and movements and all those sorts of things, the leg press and the hack squat. Because of that, I think this is a piece of machine that really makes sense for home gyms to be a combo unit. Now, these are two of the most popular leg training machines in a commercial gym. You go to any commercial gym and they're gonna have multiple leg presses and they may have a hack squat or multiple hack squats. Really, the machine that I think is one of the best lower body machines, but one that you don't see a lot in home gym, is the pendulum squat. If you'd like to see some pendulum squat reviews, let me know in the comments. But despite being a combo unit, this thing is a freaking beast. Okay, so this is 600 plus pounds. It's using 7 and 11 gauge steel all throughout. It's using 3x3 tubing on the base, both powder coated or chrome all throughout. It's just oversized in every way. It's got an 80-pound sled, which for some people may be a little bit heavy, but I think for most of you guys, it's a good start weight. Also has oversized platforms on both the leg press platform that's 20x30, but also on the hack squat platform that's a little bit wider. You're gonna be able to do a really wide stance for either. In fact, the platforms are wider than many standalone leg press and hack squat machines, and it's in a combo unit. Quite a few weight horns, has 4 total weight horns and then 4 total weight horns for storage, so you can store weight on there. So it's just a pretty big size machine with a lot of travel, meaning that people that are tall are gonna be able to use it, as well as people that are short with the lockout points. But generally, I'd say for a combo unit and at the price point, there's just a lot here. Now, one thing I will say on this, just from the get-go, is a lot of companies like to use the term commercial grade. And I don't know who defines commercial grade, maybe it's big commercial grade, but it's hard to figure out what that means. I will say most companies that use that and are selling to a home gym, it's not commercial grade. It's like, that's actually a red flag that I avoid. If it says commercial grade, run away from it. They're using that term for this, and I would actually say this meets that term. This is a commercial grade unit. I could see this in a commercial facility, but it's priced in such a way that it could also work in a home gym. Okay, to the movements. The first movement is the leg press. I will say my favorite movement on this is the leg press, and one of the reasons is that the ROM is fantastic. You're able to get a full stretch all the way to the bottom, much more than you would even need for just about anybody, regardless of whether your feet are placed low on the platform. Say you're trying to focus on the quads, so you basically put your toes on the bottom of the platform, lift your heels, or even if you're really trying to target the posterior where you put your legs higher up and you're just going heels focused, you are able to get a full stretch on the leg press, which sounds like a minor thing, but many combo machines, that's just not something that you can do. So because of that, I really like the mechanics of the leg press. They're also offering an angled platform. So there's many commercial leg presses that don't have that. In fact, some of the best in the world, they just have a really good start angle, so you don't necessarily need it. But I really like having an angled platform so you can figure out exactly what angle you need depending on your biomechanics, but also what muscle group specifically you're trying to hit. Again, it's a very sturdy platform. All the angle adjustments actually use oversized aluminum pop pins that just have a really nice feel to them. Also, they're using basically a chrome badge over the arc that the pins pop into, just so you can see where you're at, and it looks really nice and will help with wear. The platform itself is very sturdy. Like I said, it's diamond plate. The sled is 80 pounds. The padding that's used on the back pad is actually the same exact padding that you use on the hack squat. The way it attaches is basically with these keyholes. You fit it in, take it out. It's a okay way to attach. It's not the ideal way to attach. I will say, compared to say the Titan leg press hack squat combo, I vastly prefer this design. That one basically has a hinge that folds up and it's always sitting there, and it kind of looks like it's just gonna get knocked off and detach at any time. Having something that you take in and out pretty seamlessly is nice. I will say the way the keyholes are situated though, they undo going up. It's hard to describe, but basically the way that they would unhook is basically when the pressure's up, which is where you press against the pad. I would have actually liked probably if they went the opposite way. That said, during use, I haven't noticed it like detaching, or I haven't read about anybody detaching, because you have to pull it all the way off. Just something I noted. As far as range of motion, there are 4 lockout positions that you can lock in and basically find where you want to have your start. Also, there are options to put in pegs so you can lock in the bottom portion of the movement for safety purposes. Basically, you're going to be able to use this regardless of how tall you are, up to a certain like inseam length. Like if you're over 6'5", you may not have enough travel depending on how long your legs are. But for like 99% of people, it's going to work for both the end range of motion and the bottom range of the motion. And you're going to be able to use lockouts for safety. And they're including band pegs and the ability to wrap the bands around the weight horns in case you want to use accommodating resistance. Now to the hack squat portion. The hack squat portion, I said the leg press is my favorite, and that's only because the end range of motion, the full stretch for me, isn't quite as deep as I'd like. When I do a hack squat, I like to go freaking deep, just like I do on a pendulum squat. I just want to get as much of a stretch as possible, and it's really easy to do that on a hack squat without worrying about like rounding of your back or safety because of the fixed plane that you're on. So because of that, I want to get deep. And for me, I'm 5'9". I've got basically a 30-inch inseam is what I use for pants. So if that gives you an idea of like the depth I can get, I have to stop short of full range of motion. For most people, you're going to be able to squat to your full range of motion. Like most people probably aren't going as deep as I am. But if you are somebody that really likes to just get in the ass to grass, basically the bottom of a squat on a hack squat, it's gonna stop just shy. In fact, I looked at some reviews from other people in our Facebook group just to see their opinion. It was kind of mixed. There's some people that agreed with me. There's other people that thought it was more than enough range of motion. So just use that for your own deciding factor. Just for me, I wish it went a little bit deeper. Now, the way you change from leg press to hack squat is very easy. You take the back pad off, you then fold down the leg press platform and you attach the back pad to the keyholes that are on the leg press foot plate, and you're ready to go. You may have to adjust the distance of the actual sled depending on how tall you are, but other than that, like it's just that simple. Like it's very quick. You could do supersets if you wanted to on these movements. I wouldn't really suggest that. That'd be really hard movements. If you're wanting to do them in the same session, very easy to do so. I will say the hack squat is very comfortable. The yoke pads are kind of hilariously long. I don't know why they made them so long. It's not like a downside. It's not like it takes up any more space. They're just kind of hilariously long. I don't know if they did that because they're thinking people will kind of like lift off or something. I will say the length is kind of nice because you can put your hands on top of the yoke pads. Actually, I prefer to put my hands on top of the yoke pads versus to hold the handles that it basically unlock and lock. It just feels better. But I will say all the locking handles, they have a rubberized handle on them, both at the hack squat portion as well as the leg press detachment portion, as well as the leg press handles that you use just to hold yourself in. So I will say you're able to load this as heavy as you want because of the amount of weight horns that are on here. It's got a high start weight and it's going to be able to take as much weight as you want. Now, one thing to talk about is the smoothness. This is using linear bearings. So you basically have this bell curve for hack squats. On the cheap end of the bell curve, you have rollers. On the expensive end of the bell curve, you have rollers. And in the middle, you have this, linear bearings. It's kind of how it is. So you see the cheapest hack squats. One of them is like the Titan Fitness combo that's using rollers, or it's actually using like these big oversized wheels. And then on the other end, the absolute like best generally considered hack squat in the world is the Loudness Hack Squat Pro, which was done in combination with N1 Education. It costs as much as a car, it takes up as much room as a car, it's 35 degrees, so you have to load a ton of weight, but it is sick and so smooth. In between, you have companies that are doing linear bearings. So this one has linear bearings. I actually used one this week from Gym 80, their Pure Craft line, which is like a $6,000 hack squat, but it's using linear bearings too, which was kind of surprising. But this feels just as smooth as just about every linear bearing leg press hack squat. And that has both positives and negatives. It's pretty smooth. It's not as smooth as say what you get from Loudness, but for the price point, my experience with it is it's very smooth. I will say it's louder, just the movement of the sled, because you can hear kind of the bearings rolling. It's louder than what you get with the rollers, but when you're in the middle of a set and you're just giving it all you got, you're not thinking about that. You got music blaring, like it's not a big deal. So just be aware, the linear bearings, they're nice. Make sure you lube them up. They'll work well, but it's not gonna be as smooth if you're used to going to a commercial gym where they have just like the creme de la gym options on hack squats. Now the third movement you can do on this is basically a standing calf raise. They have a square hole in the middle of the hack squat platform where you can put a device that comes with it in there. So it's basically a calf block. It's got diamond plate on it, it's curved. The reason I'm talking about it and not showing it is because we lost it. Somehow along the way, during the assembly of the process, I won't blame who it is, Sam, but we lost it, okay? But I will say, honestly, the most minor part of the equipment, it's gonna work. I can see it on their website. I've seen other people's thoughts on it. It looks like a good design, and you can adjust actually the length. They're using a pop pin, which is pretty smart, but you'll have to take somebody else's thoughts specifically on the calf machine part of this, because I haven't used this specific one. Now I have used others. One of those is Force USA's. I've used Force USA's that use a very similar design. And it's honestly, it's a good idea because it takes a machine, like it doesn't change any of the other movements, but does allow you to have a standing calf raise, which is very, very nice. Because then you don't have to have like a donkey calf or something like that in your gym taking up space. I'm glad they added it, but honestly, I wouldn't buy this just for that purpose. And then lastly, before I get to the value, just quickly on shipping and assembly, this does come in a massive wooden crate. It is 600 pounds. They will deliver it basically to your door, but they're not gonna bring it inside or anything like that. You're probably gonna want multiple people to put this together. It's not the easiest thing to put together. It takes some time, but it's not like you gotta be a rocket scientist to do it. I will say on ours specifically, we did have some shipping damage. There is a portion that basically looks like it got roughed up against a truck or something. Not a major deal, not enough to basically reach out and say, hey, can we get a replacement? And I'm not really sure how Bolt does that. I've heard some really negative things about Bolt in their shipping stuff. I've also heard positive, so it's kind of hard to go through the muddy waters. And honestly, if we reached out to them because we're doing a review, they would probably replace it. But I don't know generally what they would do for most customers on the issue like we have, like we're showing you in the B-roll. So if you've got opinions on that because you've been through the process, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Lastly is on the value. This thing is around $2,600, which there are definitely cheaper models. There are definitely more expensive models. I would say right now, this is the go-to. If you're gonna buy a combo hack squat leg press of the ones that I've used and tested, which are many on the market, this is the one that I would go with. For the price, the features, this is gonna be something that's gonna last you forever, how heavy duty it is, the footprint, the big plates. It's a really, really good piece. And the price it's pricey, but you compare it to really commercial models, very expensive models, it's like $2,600, includes shipping. Now, I will say there is something else to look at though, and that is from Deltec. Deltec makes a leg press hack squat combo called the DF809, which is the exact same as this. It's the exact same one as this. The difference is it's white powder coat, and they're not using as many creme de la gym options. So they're not using aluminum pop pins. They're also not laser cutting logos and stuff like that. But it's $2,000 shipping included. So the functionality is probably gonna be exactly the same. I haven't used it. I've just seen it online, I've seen people talk about it, but I haven't seen a lot of people have it. If you're asking me which one I would get, it's kind of hard to decide because I haven't used that one. I will say the fit and finish and just everything about it, I really like this piece, But if the function and everything is the same, if you're really trying to save some money, you're gonna save about 595 bucks going through that other option. But that said, I haven't used it. I haven't dealt with that company. So I would personally prefer to deal with Bolt just because I know more about them. But that's just my personal opinion. So if you'd like to get this, check out the link below, like button. If you've used it, let me know in the comments. Also, are there any other machines you'd like to see me review? I'm wanting to review more machines, and many of them come at your request. So let me know in the comments. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.